All right, hello everybody. It's the Meista from Brews and Tunes. Cheers. I am super excited tonight. I am chatting with the one and only Ronnie Parmer, drummer of multiple bands, Malevolent Creation, Perdition Temple, Amon, Angelcorpse. I mean, you played in so many bands, Ronnie. Thanks so much for joining me.
Awesome, man. I'm glad to be here.
Cool. How's it going? And of course, you're touring right now with Malevolent Creation.
Yes.
How's the tour going?
Going awesome. It's going awesome, man. We're in Sacramento tonight. We played Reno last night, had a late show last night, but they threw down last night in Reno, so now we're at some axe throwing place. I think it's called the Thirsty Axe or something like that. I'm not sure, but looks like it'll be a good time.
Nice. Very cool. That's great. So of course with the you're touring with Malevolent Creation right now, and you joined the band just a couple of years ago, and it's a fairly young band apart from Phil, but how has that been? And how did that gig come about for you?
It came about for me. I was actually on tour with Perdition Temple with Cannibal Corpse at the time, and Josh Gibbs, the bass player for Malevolent, had hit me up and asked if I would jump on the European tour that they had. So I had to learn their tunes in like 2 weeks because they had 2 weeks before they flew out. So I learned all their tunes and jumped on the tour and did that tour with them, and they ended up just asking me to join full time. Nice. So that's how that kind of came about. And here we are.
That's very cool. Wow, that's amazing. That's great. I love that. And then and of course, as you mentioned, you're in Perdition Temple, and I've got the last album right here, which is fucking amazing.
Hell yeah, thanks, man.
Very exciting news. You guys just announced you have a new album coming out in a month, right?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Very cool.
That one's got 4 originals on it and 4 covers. I don't know if you consider it a full length or whatever, but we got like a Morbid Angel cover. Just a few covers I think people will dig once they hear them. But yeah, Gene stayed busy during the COVID lockdown stuff. He wrote a bunch of music, and we were able to put this album that's fixing to come out. And then we have another one for early 2023 already kind of recorded. So we're going to have another one out soon as well. Yeah.
That's great news.
Yeah, Gene's killing me.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
After this tour, as soon as I get back from this tour, I have to fly out and do a show with Gene with Perdition Temple. So no rest for the wicked, I guess. I'll sleep when I'm dead.
Right. Yeah. Is that the Carolina Chainsaw Massacre show?
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. And our last show for this tour is the 29th. So, and then that's in Austin, Texas. So it's going to take at least a day or two for me to get back to Florida. So we're going to maybe have one rehearsal, and then we have to fly out and do this stuff. So.
Oh, wow.
Good time.
Yeah. Wow. That's intense. That's good. Yeah. Holy. Yeah. Because you said the 29th is the last show.
Yeah, I believe it's the 29th. Yep. It's in Texas, Austin, Texas, I believe.
Okay. Yeah. And then you play on the 3rd, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So you figure there's 31 days in May, I guess. So if we play the 29th, it's going to at least take them 2 days to get me back home to Florida. So yeah, we're cutting it kind of close, but we'll make it happen.
Nice. That's cool. Cool. I will actually be at that show, and I'm insanely excited to see you live. And awesome. Yeah, that'll be cool. And I don't know if you're a beer drinker, but if you are, I will buy you a beer. So I cannot wait to see you playing. Yeah, super excited to see that. I wanted to ask you about I know this past year you released Bloodmessiah, where you play everything, right? Guitars, bass, keyboards, drums. I mean, you're known for being this monster drummer, but you also play a lot of different instruments as well, right?
Yeah. That was actually supposed to be the Amon album, I don't know, if you knew that or not, but I was in Amon for a second, and I had wrote all those tunes for Eric and Brian, and we were, Eric was rehearsing them and learning them and stuff, and he was supposed to go into the studio and record over my guitars, but it was just taking too long, man. And, it was a couple years that went by and the tunes were ready. So I just ended up taking my tunes, and, he got mad at me or whatever, but whatever, he'll get over it. And I put him out on the Bloodmessiah. So, yeah, I've been getting a really good response from that stuff. So that's really awesome.
Yeah, that's great stuff. So I was curious, with that, the fact that you play pretty much all the instruments on there. I was curious about, kind of going back in time and talking to you a little bit about kind of how you started in music, and, did you come from a musical family? You play multiple instruments. So, did you start with drums? Did you start with guitar? Like, kind of how did that all come about?
Actually, I'm a better piano player than I am a drummer. And I'm a better guitar player than I am a drummer, and I'm a better piano player than I am a guitar player. But yeah, pretty much any instrument you can put in my hand, I can play, for the most part. But yeah, my family, they were big into music. One of my great grandfathers was like a famous fiddler player from Ohio. And I'm assuming that's where I get my musical ability. My mom and my uncles and all them were in bands and stuff like that. So I don't know. I didn't go out looking for it. It just kind of happened. I guess it was within me to do it. I don't know. But yeah, that's how that kind of came about.
Nice. So did you start really young? Were you a kind of a young musician?
Yeah. Well, playing piano and stuff like that, I was super young, 6 and 7 playing, I actually played in a church.
Oh, really?
Playing piano and stuff. Yeah. And, but my first band, playing in rock and metal music and stuff, was with my uncle. I was 14 years old, and they wouldn't let me in the venue, because I was so young, but they talked to the people and finally convinced them to let me come in and play. And as long as I stayed in this one particular area until we played, and then, had to get out of there after we played and stuff. But yeah, I've been doing it since I was young, man, playing in bands.
Nice. That's really cool. How did you hook up with Gene? I mean, and that was with Angelcorpse back in 2015 or so, around there, I think.
Yeah, when I did the Angelcorpse stuff with Gene, that was in 2016. But I'd met Gene a couple years prior. I was playing in a band called Destined to Ruin with Ed Webb and Damien Heftel and stuff. And I was playing with them, and they had known Gene, and Gene came out to one of our rehearsals, and a show of ours that we did. And then he approached me and asked if I'd be interested in learning some Perdition Temple stuff. So I learned all the Edict of the Antichrist Elect songs and started jamming with him, and that took off from there. And then the few years later, obviously Pete Helmkamp and had approached Gene about doing Angelcorpse again, and then Gene recommended me to come do the drum stuff. So that's how I got the gig in Angelcorpse.
Nice, very cool. That's great.
Yeah.
As far as your drumming, I mean, God, you're just a monster drummer, and that's it's really interesting to me that the fact that you just said just a minute ago that you feel that you're a better piano player and a better guitar player than you are a drummer, and you're such a monster drummer. So God, I would love to hear you play guitar. But I was curious, kind of who were your influences as far as any of those instruments, really, kind of growing up, who you were listening to, what was what were the big influencers for you as a musician?
Yeah, growing up for me, man, I mean, it was obvious, Metallica and Van Halen and Kiss and AC/DC, all them bands. It was just I was always oh, I want to learn that, you know what I mean, when I would hear it. So I would go, and that was my thing. Everybody knew me because I could learn it right off the fly, and that was something that everybody was impressed by me, is because I would hear it and be able to just kind of play it on the guitar without knowing it. And then after years of that, I kind of started taking lessons and realized that I already kind of knew the stuff. It was just, I didn't know what the stuff was called, you know, like scale wises and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, I already know that, you know, I'm already playing that, but it's called, you know, whatever, C major scale, you know, so, but,
nice.
yeah.
As far as your drumming goes, do you have any like really big influences as far as drummers?
For drummers, for me, you know, I got into playing like, you know, stuff that back in the day, and it started off with like simple stuff like Alice in Chains kind of drumming and, you know, listening to that kind of stuff. But I wasn't interested in doing that on stage. I was more interested in the heavier physical stuff, you know, that I saw people starting to do, like, you know, like Malevolent even, you know, for me growing up, you know, hearing them, you know, I was just like, oh, I want to drum like that. So that, you know, like the Alice in Chains kind of stuff kind of was boring for drumming for me and stuff. So I stuck to like learning the guitar stuff for that. And then like for drums, I would learn more technical stuff because I wanted to push myself. And I thought the other kind of drumming was kind of too simplistic for me. So I tried to, you know, challenge myself and learn heavier stuff.
Gotcha.
But,
gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would say with, yeah, I mean, yeah, Malevolent Creation is, yeah, excellent choice for like intricate, heavy drumming, you know, and that, you know, they've had a, you know, multitude of drummers. And I think, you know, you're right up there with some of the best in that band. And,
thank you, man.
I mean, you look at, you know, who was in that band over the last 30 years, you know, like with
all legends, absolutely.
Yeah, Alex, you know, Marquez, and yeah, I mean, just,
you know,
just monster drummers, and of course you're right there with them with you know, I mean, that, like I said, when I put on that, you know, first time I ever heard you was Perdition Temple, and yeah, when my needle hit that vinyl, it was like, holy shit, this drummer, wow, this, I mean, it was immediate, like, just, I was obsessed. So I cannot wait to see you live in Carolina, in the Carolina Chainsaw Massacre. I'm really excited for that.
Awesome. Hell yeah, it's gonna be good times, man.
Yeah, it'll be cool. You'll be exhausted, I'm sure, but but it's gonna be killer. It's gonna be killer. So I was curious, you know, okay, so you've got this tour going on with Malevolent Creation. You got the Carolina Chainsaw. So what's next? I mean, you probably want to take a little bit of a break, I'm sure, but you're kind of a workaholic. I mean, you're in multiple bands. So what's the next? What's happening next?
Well, I know Malevolent has another tour we're lining up for this year as well. I think that's going to be over in Europe.
Oh, cool.
And then in July, I think we got some kind of metal fest. I forget what the fest is called, but we have a fest over there. It's like July 16th. It's supposed to be some big fest. And then I also, I'm still jamming with the guys in Brutality as well.
Oh, yeah, cool.
They have another album that we just did that's coming out. There's only 2 new songs on it, but we did 2 other songs of their old stuff and on a 7-inch a couple years ago. So they put those 2 on the album as well. And then they put 4 songs that were from MDF when we played. Oh, and so those will be on that album as well. The live, you know, live songs. But once I get back from the Perdition Temple show, I have to go shoot a video with those guys for one of the new songs that we're putting out on the CD as well for Brutality. So yeah, staying busy, man.
Yeah, you are. Holy shit.
And I know Gene's going to be having some stuff for Perdition Temple. Gene wants to start picking up and making Perdition Temple more active again this year since all the COVID stuff's letting up and stuff. So,
oh, great. That'll be good. I mean, you'll be working your ass off, but, you know, for fans, that's great.
Yeah, it's hard to keep all the bands, you know, to where all the schedules aren't running together, but everybody seems to be pretty cool with, you know, allowing stuff. Like Gene hit me up the other day. He had something for July 16th, and I had to tell him, oh, I can't because, you know, I have this stuff with Malevolent. We're supposed to be going over to Europe. And he was like, all right, that's cool. We'll try to book it for something else. So everybody's kind of understanding about it.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That's definitely good news. Wow. That's, yeah, like I said, yeah, it's amazing how much stuff you do. It's, I'm always amazed by when I see all, your webpage, all the touring that you're doing, all the projects that you're doing. Do you have anything? Do you have any other things coming up in the kind of distant future? Do you have any other plans as far as, especially with like, do you foresee doing another Bloodmessiah project?
Yeah, actually, I'm a few tunes into working on another album for that.
Oh, cool.
But right now, for this year, I got like, I'm trying to get a live lineup, so I might, and we're actually booked on a couple shows, the Bloodmessiah thing is, so we'll see how that goes. It's supposed to have like Jay Fernandez from Brutality in there.
Oh, nice.
It's going to have Gabe, he was the original bass player from Perdition Temple when we did that Tempter's Victorious album.
Cool.
So he'll be on the bass, and Keith Thompson on guitar. So yeah, that might be a live lineup this year as well, but we'll see if that comes to fruition, I guess.
Nice. That sounds.
But
I would love that. That sounds great.
And then I'm also in that band Insanity. They're working on a new album, and I'll be doing a couple live shows with those guys, and they're trying to set up a tour as well. So I don't know, maybe there'll be an Insanity tour this year sometime too.
Nice.
I did that. I know I'm on the Trench Warfare, the guys from Austin, Texas. I don't know if you've heard of them before, but
no.
Really good black death metal band, Trench Warfare, and I did some tunes for Tony on his Phalanx Inferno project, and he asked me to do the Trench Warfare album, so I did drums for that. I think that's going to be coming out on. I don't want to say because they told me to be hush hush about that.
Oh,
so, but it's supposed to be coming out on a decent label, so we'll see.
That's cool.
But yeah, man, I'm just staying busy and trying not to die.
yeah, man, you're staying incredibly busy. So when you have any downtime ever, which it doesn't seem like that's the case, do you like, what do you listen to? What do you spin? What do you when you're like kind of chilling out, what do you play? What do you like to listen to?
Honestly, man, I mean, any downtime I get, I don't really get downtime. I'm usually working on somebody's stuff, but if I do occasionally, I mean, I don't know. I just listen to old stuff that I listen to. I don't like, I'm outdated, I guess, but unless somebody puts it on the radio and it's like, oh, hey, check this out. But, I'll listen to old stuff, Suffocation, just whatever that I'm used to, you know what I mean? It's where I feel at home, I guess. But just old school stuff for me, but, yeah, I couldn't really name anything off the top of my head that's current that I'd say I'd listen to.
Gotcha. Well, Suffocation,
but,
what a great band.
Yeah, just old school death metal stuff. That's where my heart is any kind of old school stuff. I love it.
Very cool. I love it as well. That's great. Well, I know you've got a show coming up here in just a few minutes, probably. You're getting ready. You guys are getting ready. So I don't want to keep you all night, but Ronnie, it's been a real pleasure and an honor chatting with you. I mean, you're such a monster drummer. One of my favorite drummers. Really.
Thank you, man.
And I'm really excited to see you live in North Carolina in a few weeks or a couple weeks. And hopefully get to have a little chat with you, live and in person. So that'll be cool.
That'd be awesome, man. I can't wait, dude.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. This has been great chatting with you. Have a great show tonight. And for everybody out there watching, please, if you get a chance, check out Malevolent Creation, check out Ronnie touring right now, coming to a town near you, hopefully. And then also, if you look in the description of this interview, there are links to, if you look down below in the description, there are links to the bands he plays in. So definitely check those out if you're not familiar, because you will be amazed. So thanks so much, my friend.
Hell yeah, man. Thank you for having me, brother. It's been a pleasure.
Excellent.